Adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential outcome this year. We have no evidence of cyber manipulation of election infrastructure intended to alter results. Fast forward to 2019, and Clapper was singing a different tune after then Attorney General Bill Barr said the Trump campaign was spied upon.
I thought it was both stunning and scary. I was amazed at that and rather disappointed that the Attorney General would say such a thing. He just has a feeling that there was spying against the campaign. We're losing sight here of what started all this, and that was the Russian meddling, the Russian interference in our election process. And the Russians pose a profound threat to this country.
So that's from no evidence to profound threat. That's quite a leap. And what about President Obama? A declassified document dated December 9th, 2016, reveals the intel community was working to produce a new assessment per Obama's request and seeking participation from the CIA, FBI, NSA, and DHS. Around that same time, here's what President Obama was saying publicly.
When I look back in terms of how we handled it, I think we handled it the way it should have been handled. Unless the American people genuinely think that the professionals in the CIA, the FBI, our entire intelligence infrastructure are less trustworthy than the Russians, then people should pay attention to what our intelligence agencies say.
As for anyone questioning why a new assessment was ordered, they were quickly silenced. This from a late December 2016. Quote, due to the ODNI whistleblowers questioning his leadership about why an IC assessment was being created that contradicted multiple IC assessments, the whistleblower is immediately removed from emails regarding the drafting of Obama-ordered IC assessment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we're really talking about here is that the Trump DOJ launching a grand jury investigation into the Obama-Russia hoax corruption collusion, which this seems to be this is a very, very big deal. This is a very big deal. And the fact of the matter is that there was a lot of things that were going on, and there was even people saying that, like, no, there was definitely Russia was interfering with the elections, when that happens to be not the case. It seems that it was Hillary Clinton that was forming all of this here, and finally there is going to be a probe, or rather a grand jury investigation to discover on what really happened.
On this whatsoever, the Russians interfered in our election during the 2016 cycle. They did it with purpose, they did it with sophistication, they did it with overwhelming technical efforts, and it was an active measures campaign driven from the top of that government. There is no fuzz on that. It is a high confidence judgment of the entire intelligence community, and the members of this committee have seen the intelligence. It's not a close call. That happened.
Joining me now to dig further into this is CEO of the Federalist, Sean Davis. Great to see you, Sean. So no fuzz about it.
Yeah, it turns out there was a lot of fuzz about it. And it's fascinating what we're learning, 8 years later. That by itself is a scandal, that it took 8 years for us to learn this information, that there was actually a great deal of debate within the so-called intel community about the nature of the Russian threat. We now know that there was a lot of doubt about this idea that Russia was desperately trying to help Trump to win, that it was this some sort of profound technological effort. Based on what we know, based on the intel community's own words, there were no real cyber attacks to change votes or go after infrastructure. And we also know that the extent of their technological chicanery and shenanigans came down to, some Facebook ads and some Twitter memes.
Right.
And so it's just fascinating looking back in hindsight and seeing the efforts that these people, Comey and Brennan and Clapper, these corrupt people, the efforts they went to delegitimize Trump's victory, number one, that was the first goal. And then the second goal is to cripple his administration and cripple his presidency. That's the scandal here.
Yeah, so what we know is that on July 16th, you had people going up to Obama and pretty much saying, listen, we think that this whole thing is a hoax. We don't think this is a reality. I think it was off of Hillary Clinton that did this. And instead of actually investigating into Hillary Clinton as they should have, they decided to go after Donald Trump and create this whole conspiracy. Now, what my head dog is thinking here is that potentially that Obama and Hillary Clinton linked up together, create this collusion to go against Donald Trump and to remove him from office. Now, this is my assumption, and this is what I'm assuming that they have done, but I do not know. We still need more information to drop before we can even remotely get into that. So, what we have here from the Post-Millennial says, DOJ launches grand jury investigation into Russia collusion hoax. In response to a criminal referral received from the Director of National Intelligence, it says Tulsi Gabbard over Russia collusion hoax documents released late in July. Attorney General Pam Bondi has directed her staff to act on the referral and the Department of Justice in an opening grand jury investigation into the matter. An unnamed federal prosecutor has been ordered to initiate legal proceedings. The prosecutor is suspected to present evidence to a grand jury to secure an indictment per Fox News, which obtained a letter from Bondi and spoke with a source familiar with the investigation. Says here, a spokesperson for the DOJ declined to comment on the report of the investigation, but said that Bondi was taking Gabbard's referral very seriously, and Bondi believes there's a clear cause for deep concern. Gabbard revealed in late July that she had referred from President Barack Obama to the Department of Justice. She said that the evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that the DOJ has launched a strike force to investigate the alleged representation of the U.S. intelligence community. The documents released revealed overwhelming evidence that the Obama administration manufactured a politicized intelligence in an attempt to hurt Trump's chances in the 2016 election. Gabbard said the deep documents detail a treasonous conspiracy by officials at the highest levels of the Obama White House to subvert the will of the American people and try to obstruct the president from fulfilling his mandate. So, yeah, we're going to go over this here as well because this has something to do with this as well, with this whole situation.
Confirmed that Attorney General Pam Bondi today signed an order directing an unnamed U.S. federal prosecutor to take evidence to a grand jury relating to an alleged conspiracy to tie then 2016 candidate Donald Trump to the country of Russia. Now, Fox News reviewed the one-page order just hours ago signed by the Attorney General. A source familiar with the probe confirms this as well, while a DOJ spokesperson declined to comment on this report of an investigation. Fox is told Attorney General Bondi is taking the referrals from Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, quote, very seriously. The spokesperson says that Bondi believes there is, quote, clear cause for deep concern, end quote, and a need for the next steps. Now, this move comes just a couple of weeks after the Director of National Intelligence, you see her right there, Tulsi Gabbard, sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding what she says proves there was a conspiracy to undermine Trump's candidacy and later his first term in office. Now, to be clear today, there are no charges that have been filed, no indictments. This is incredibly early in the process. What we have here is taking evidence the Justice Department believes it has to a grand jury to secure an eventual indictment or indictments. We don't know exactly where the grand jury will meet. We don't know who will go before the grand jury, and that's by design, because grand juries determine if there's enough evidence to indict, and grand juries are secretive in the American legal system, so it's normal not to know all of the answers. Again, the DOJ declining on any comment regarding this investigation, but big news, this was signed by the Attorney General Pam Bondi today to take this evidence of an alleged conspiracy to a grand jury with the hope to get an indictment or multiple indictments.
Yeah. So this is a big deal, and we'll see where this leads into the actual criminal investigation and what happened with the grand jury. So if this is what's going on here, then they need to go to the highest extent of the law. This is crazy, right? So again, we're going to see on how much Hillary Clinton had been involved in this. This is a massive, a huge step. If the grand jury is being called upon and they're investigating it, that means that they have a lot of evidence to go and say, hey, grand jury, you need to go investigate this because we think there's a overwhelming amount of evidence to indict these people. Let's do it. And that's the case here. Like, there has to be enough evidence to even bring this up, and there's so much that they're doing it. So we'll see on where this takes us, right? So whether or not where Obama is going to be tackled down or indicted, or Hillary Clinton, etc., because there's a lot of craziness happening right now in the political world, and we'll see where all this goes. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.